Today, Cheesehead TV brings you two guys who like to think they know something about football.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Packer Transplants Live. I am Aaron Nagler, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Corey Banke, my partner here at Cheesehead TV. We are coming to you live from the LiveX studio in Manhattan, and we are ready to talk some Packers. So why don't you tell us what's on tap today, Corey?
Today, we celebrate a
Celebrate good times.
Come on, one start by your Green Bay Packers and look ahead to the second half of the season. But right now, it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got the good, we got
Aaron freaking Jones.
We got the bad, we got
Ryan Bulaga, Iowa.
We got the ugly, we got
Tackling. My God, Corey, the tackling. Don't get me started on the tackling, Corey. I want to be happy and excited. And I think about the Packers tackling on Sunday night, and I am neither of those.
Okay, well, I just want to say one thing.
What's that? Just one?
Say this to the camera.
All right.
Okay?
The floor is yours.
For all of you out there that think the Packers are good, welcome.
Wow, you've been working on that one for a while.
I wrote it down, Nagler. Come on now. Woo! Woo! Man.
They're 7-1.
7-1.
And
they're practicing right now.
Right now, as we speak live into microphones, the Green Bay Packers are taking the practice field for the first time since their victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. So we have no real updates. I know the big question on everybody's mind this week, as pertains to my Twitter feed anyway, is what's the latest on Devontae? Is Devontae going to practice? Will Devontae be out there? We'll find out. Patience. Christmas is coming. We'll see. Maybe we'll get an update live here during our show. But for the time being, there is some other Packers news to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
The trade deadline has come and gone.
Wow.
And as is tradition around the Green Bay Packers, nary a sound was made.
Nope.
No fax machines were whirled up and gotten ready to go, faxing over some trade details to the league office. No, sir. Brian Gutekunst standing pat. I mean, I don't think anybody was really surprised by this. I mean, maybe some small segment.
There was a
Packers
small little,
sphere
yeah.
Was expecting some big trade.
I saw some weird stuff. The weirdest thing I saw was Andy Dalton.
Oh my!
Trade for Andy Dalton.
Wait, someone was advocating
as the backup.
Packers to
as
trade
a backup. And I was like,
you've got Tim Boyle Laser Show.
It's true, but then I was like, that's intriguing.
Oh no.
And I was like, wait. And I went down this whole rabbit hole where I was like, wait, Aaron Rodgers would not be he's not worried that you're trying to replace him with Andy Dalton. There's nobody's worried about that.
Not
but you have kind of a semi-competent number two that can step in and take over if there's an injury.
They have that.
I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, but then they have to take on his contract. Like, what? That makes no sense.
No, it made no sense exactly, which is why is the thing that made the most sense once I went down the rabbit hole, as rabbit holes often do. They don't make any sense when you go down them. Not many people were going down some rabbit holes this week.
No. Well, I think most people had resigned themselves.
Nobody's talking about Jordy Nelson, nobody's talking about. Nobody's
Funny
talking
how
about.
that works when you score a bunch of points week after week after week, despite losing your best offensive threat.
I even looked. I was trying to find trolls out there, and I went to the number one troll source, Bob McGinn, and I had to log out of my Twitter account.
Right, because he's blocked you.
Because he blocked me.
Right.
Funny how, I just logged out and I could see all his tweets. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
And
nothing about Lance Easley.
2 weeks ago, he was like, the offense was so amazing, and his tweet was like, how can I troll the defense and special teams?
Because I can't say anything about the offense.
There's you can if they don't get a trio, there's something to troll.
Yep. It's fair. It's a fair point. Speaking of special teams, though, another special teams gaffe undoubtedly leading to our next headline, which is the Packers have released Darius Shepard. No word yet on whether they'll bring him back to the practice squad, but clearly letting that final punt roll down to the 2-yard line was undoubtedly the last straw in Brian Gutekunst's eyes. It sucks because I was really excited about the kid. I think coming out of camp, you saw a lot of really good stuff, and I understand
why flashes
around.
In camp.
He definitely big-time flashes, both in camp and preseason. He made some huge catches in preseason. But as we all know, throughout the years, what you do in the summer needs to translate into the regular season, and it sure didn't for Darius, which is, again, I feel for the guy. I hope he lands on his feet somewhere and continues his journey in the NFL. I like the kid. Wasn't going to happen in Green Bay, though.
Well, and I feel like he is. I feel like the two things collided, right? Up-and-coming developing player collided with, hey, I've set this standard, and if we don't have standards,
that's the other thing.
We can't have people.
When Trevor Davis is given, like, time after time to make mistakes, and finally they just trade him away, you have to step in and not make those mistakes. Yeah. Which Shepard did, unfortunately, repeatedly.
But the alternative now, Coach, is what?
Well, there's the thing. On kickoffs, they'll undoubtedly go with Tremont Smith, who they elevated to the 53.
Okay.
Who they've kind of bounced back and forth between the practice squad and the 53. He was a really effective kick returner in Kansas City last year. So hopefully, if teams elect to kick to the Packers, which they have been, this is not an accident. It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
Teams have been kicking short to Green Bay, knowing they don't have a return game and knowing they can go after the football because they've seen Shepard fumble it a couple times. Yep. So hopefully Tremont Smith makes them rethink that equation. And if they don't, maybe he hurts them for it. And then on punts, I saw a lot of chatter online. I was involved in some of it about maybe using him on punts, which he did return punts in college. So it's something he's done before. Jair returned punts in college, but he muffed his first two opportunities last year. I just think they're probably, and I have no idea, obviously, what they'll do. But my hunch is they'll put Tramon Williams back there. Like a guy you're not going to be a threat to break one.
But he's not going to make any mistake.
He's not going to make the mistake either mentally or physically. You're going to trust him to hold on to it.
And if you put him back there and he doesn't make any mistakes, you get what you're looking for, exactly. Which is them not punting or kicking to your guy.
And you're not. It's not a negative. At least he'll if all he does is fair catch and not let it like bounce down to the 2-yard line, you're already ahead of where you were the last couple weeks. So that's my hunch anyway. We'll see. We'll see which way they end up.
It's too bad though, because I kind of feel like right now, if the season ended today, the biggest mistake.
It'd be really weird because it'd be like only 8 games in the season.
We would have won. But as if I'm going to want to try to be a wannabe radio host, I'm going to make up things like if the season ended today, so that we can have a segment about it.
By the way, if you're interested in syndicating Packer Transplants for your radio station, please give us a call.
Yeah. Contact@cheeseheadtv.com.
I'm just saying.
I feel like the biggest quote unquote mistake, and it was a mistake, it was kind of a where fortune landed them because of how practice squad works is getting rid of Trey Carson.
Right, because Detroit took him. I don't think they expected somebody to pick him up.
I don't think they did, and I thought they could stow him away. Maybe not for this use case, but he was that like up and coming Darius Shepard, Trevor Davis type. I know not quite Trevor Davis type, but more.
I get what you're saying. Like he's somebody who it was cheap labor. Essentially, a guy who could step in and help.
And he's looking good right now.
Yeah, well.
He had some good play last week.
Next up, speaking of good play, Aaron Jones. Aaron freaking Jones, for the second time this year, has won the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. I mean, I don't think there's much more that we can say about Aaron Jones at this point other than, holy cow, this kid is awesome.
You always know when a guy has made it because people like Mike Silver and all the national and the guys that write for SI still, because that's still a thing, and all the national reporters, they go, Aaron Jones is the real deal. Thanks, Coach.
You literally almost made me.
We've been here for a little while.
Barf my drink.
Hanging out with Aaron Jones.
That's great.
And now, because you've deemed it from on high.
Oh, you've seen it on a nationally televised game.
And Chris Collinsworth talked about it. It's a thing.
Yeah.
I said this 3 weeks ago, and what's funny is we both have said Aaron Jones is going to have his coming out party.
Right.
He's had multiple.
He's had a couple of coming out parties at this point.
And now what's really funny is the thing that they hadn't seen that now they're seeing.
I know, right?
Is Aaron Jones catching the ball.
Which he's done for years. Like he's done it his entire time in the NFL. He's just been given more opportunities. Yeah. That's the thing. And it's the way they use him, too. A lot of that screen stuff, using him downfield. They're using him all over the place.
Everywhere.
As opposed to just a check down or a scramble drill, etc. Which is
they're using
really how
him like an Amon Green.
They're using him all over. That's what I love.
On everything. There's nothing he can't do.
No.
You want to be wide receiver? Go.
What's going to be amazing is how our defense is going to start countering / lining up against him. Because if you treat him as a simple running back, Matt LaFleur is going to expose you.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That happened again and again and again to the Chiefs on Sunday night. The thing is the final third down of the game where they got to have it, like game on the line, they pick up this first down and the game is over. The one where LaFleur, you can see his mouth on the sideline say, go win the game to Rodgers. They ran the same concept that they had run at least 4 times to Jones earlier in the game. The exact same concept. Not the exact same play, but the exact same concept. Split him out, bring him into bunch. You know you got man, go. And they killed the Chiefs with that over and over and over again. And I'm just interested to see
because why
other teams
they put a cornerback on him?
No, they put a linebacker on him.
They
had a linebacker walk out on him.
Got it.
That's the thing. So it's like, okay, if you want to play that, LaFleur's going to kill you. And now the onus is going to be on defensive coordinators going forward. You can't, you got to pick your poison at this point.
Well, here's the thing, though, and everybody wants to know, is Devontae coming back? And that is going to be the like
that's going to be
Devontae.
We just had like this humongous, amazing meal, right? Like the gourmet meal, and then we were served like one of the greatest, most beautiful desserts of all time, and then the maitre d' came up to us and said, I'm sorry, the evening is not over yet.
Yeah.
And there's some other amazing event about to happen.
Yeah, there's like whatever your equivalent is. Yeah, whatever your equivalent of an orange liqueur into like
orange
a
liqueur,
cigar.
Yeah. Whatever you do
whatever your
after the
thing
meal,
is,
whatever your thing
that aperitif or
the best version of that.
A digestif, I believe that's called, Nagler.
The best version of that is coming when they bring back Davante Adams. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
But Davante Adams versus Aaron Jones as a defensive coordinator, now you got problems.
You got major problems because that's the other thing. You got to roll coverage to Davante. You have to. How do you not? Unless you have like, I don't know, one of the greatest corners ever sitting in your stable. Like,
well, what is it? 600 yards since Davante's been out. That's the makeup.
A lot.
It's the makeup.
It's a whole lot.
That Aaron Jones and just Jamal Williams have like kind of filled.
It's just incredible to me that, okay, unless you've got like Darrelle Revis sitting in your corner, which most people don't, you're going to have to roll to Davante. And as an offensive play caller and designer in LaFleur, you know that. So you can do all sorts of stuff with Davante over here.
Yeah.
And then let Aaron Jones go crazy over here.
YouTube is telling me I'm a moron, which I know because it's aperitif.
Oh, whatever.
Nagler.
Who cares?
Nagler.
You know I don't care.
See when a Midwest boy tries to be all like French and shit?
Hey, a Midwest boy who grew up in L.A., so you should know this shit. I mean,
someone
else made a good point.
I need a aperitif.
There you go.
That's
someone made a good point though. If we were on air, it would limit your ability to say fuck. So there we go.
That would be your problem, not mine.
I'm fine. Last week it wasn't my problem. Last week it was your problem, sir.
Did you wear that shirt for me?
Stay on target.
People said that on YouTube.
Yeah, well, there's smart people.
I didn't even
there.
notice that shirt.
Smart
Somebody
people
said
out
it on
there.
YouTube.
Smart.
Oh, stay on target. Luke Skywalker, I gotta go to the Death Star. I'm gonna stay on the script.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Speaking of staying on script, the Packers fans out there on the West Coast, get ready, folks. This is your Super Bowl.
Yeah, it is.
There's a 30,000-seat stadium just waiting for you to invade it.
There's going to be a lot
Sunday.
of Go Pack Go in that stadium.
The estimate from one of the ticket broker, et cetera, that Rich Ryman wrote up for the local paper there, says that they expect at least 70% of that crowd on Sunday
What?
to be Packers fans.
Damn.
And as everyone I know said this afternoon,
What?
that feels low.
Wow.
That feels really
Dude.
low. Remember last year, that LA game?
That is
the
insane.
Rams game?
That's
the Rams
amazing.
game, Packers fans were like sitting at 60, 65%. Like they are going to it is going to be ridiculous. I don't know if you saw the Steelers play in this stadium a couple weeks ago.
No, I didn't watch that game.
It was like a Steelers home game.
They had like terrible towels.
Yeah, they did. They did. It was a Steelers home game. That is going to be Sunday. That is going to be Sunday. It is going to be a Packers home game. So I'm looking forward to that. All you California Packers fans, I know you guys are faithful. You guys are amazing. You always show up.
Yes.
You always ball out.
Northwest Packer Backers, LA Packer Backers.
Love
They're
it.
all over. The West Coast
love
is
it.
on that
The
shit.
West Coast
They're
is-
one of the best transplants.
They were amazing. I'll tell you what, that Rams game last year, they were incredible. They were absolutely incredible. They really showed up. And it's so great to watch social come alive when the Packers go to the West Coast because there's this whole section of the fan base that is so diehard, and they show up. And it's funny because I tweeted about it today, and my whole feed just exploded with people going, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. Like, yo, California Packer fans show up. I'm so impressed.
Somebody just said, let's look to ticks. They are not cheap. No, it's Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, and they jacked it. This is the whole reason they didn't go to London. This is the game that should have been in London.
That's right.
But Spanos is going to keep those sweet gate receipts. They jacked prices up. I mean, even first run, they were expensive. But now, like secondhand, they're like on like StubHub and stuff, they're like $400, $500 for like the worst seats in the house. So,
yikes.
You know, it's like the Packers are in town. They know they're going to make their money. So here we go, Packers fans.
Making money on those small town teams.
Love it. Yeah, the small town team. That is America's team, if you got any sense.
Is Jerry Jones in here?
I know, right? Let's talk about the offense, shall we?
Okay.
That Green Bay Packers
Did we already
offense.
say all the news?
We did. That's all the news.
Oh, got it.
The Green Bay Packers offense just keeps humming, baby. Just keeps scoring 30 points, you know? I mean, when they score only 30, you're like, oh, they only scored 30 points. Like, this is a team without its best offensive weapon. It's amazing what happens when you just let the talent that you've accrued throughout the offseason, you know, when rosters are built. It's amazing when you just let it play and develop. It's amazing. What happens?
Here's the thing. Do we really know who the greatest weapon is on offense yet?
Yeah, we do. It's Devontae Adams. There's no question.
Do we really know?
Yes, we do.
Like, okay, like
Devontae.
fast forward to February.
Right.
Do we really know?
Yes, we do.
I hope so.
We do.
I hope you're right.
Look. I get where you're going.
I
get where you're
There's
going.
a guy, and he was in the nativity scene, and they found him in Bethlehem.
I'm scared.
There's a guy. He's been found by the kings.
Okay, easy there, baby.
Touchdown Jesus. I'm just saying.
I'm okay. I love me some touchdown Jesus. No one would accuse me of being a Kumaro hater, but it's Devontae Adams.
Everybody's developing.
And they are developing. It's true.
So let's see.
But it's Devontae Adams, just so you know. And Aaron Jones could end up being insanely productive and outpace whoever numbers-wise, etc. Doesn't change anything. Devontae Adams is your number one offensive weapon.
Wow.
Just so you all know.
Jake Faust. I paid $300 right after week 1. Wife questioned me. I told her I was buying low and they'd keep winning.
Score!
Nice job, bro.
Well done. That's a good investment right there.
Just one at
That's
life.
a good investment. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers on Sunday night, you look at his final stat line, you think, that guy had an amazing game. And he did. He had an amazing game. But he wasn't seeing the field particularly well. And I got a little pushback from saying that the other day, and I just wanted to kind of talk really quickly about it. You know, look, it's okay. You can say Rodgers was a bit off, but he was still brilliant. Because that's Aaron Rodgers. Even on his worst day, he's still amazing.
He's still an
especially
A.
in comparison, especially in
He's still an
comparison
A.
to the rest of the quarterbacks in the league. But there was this one play, and I wanted to show it.
No.
This angle route to Vitale. If he just stands in the pocket and delivers the football, yes, there's rush in his face. But notice, and we'll let it play again. Now he throws this away to Kumaro. But if he just stands there,
What are you saying? He should take the
wait,
slant?
take the hit. Cool. Look at Vitale on the angle route, breaking over the middle, wide open. And the best part is, so I put this clip up on Twitter, and I said we were so close.
Oh yeah, he's man to man.
This is literally designed to beat this pressure.
There's no one over the top.
There's no one over the middle. That is literally designed to beat that pressure. And if Rodgers just stands in the pocket, maybe drifts back a bit, but just like lets Vitale make the cut and hits him, he's still running. And it was funny because I tweeted this. I said we were so close to Danny Vitale angle route that's called an angle route goodness, and Danny Vitale liked the tweet. Because he knows. And look,
Yeah, I hear you.
Rodgers knows.
That's such a nit of a pick, though.
But Rodgers was walking to the side. It's a third down.
Nagler.
That's a big play.
Nagler.
Rodgers walking to the sideline himself was clearly disgusting. Yes, sir.
Okay. There is a throw in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it is redonkulous.
Yeah.
There is literally...
I know where you're going with
everybody on TV is like, oh, I don't know how many QB... No QBs in the league can make that throw.
That's a fair point.
Guess the last person to be able to make this touchdown throw
Probably Brett Favre.
was Brett Favre.
That's true. That's the crazy part.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I didn't see Vitali on the angle route.
Well, he didn't.
It's all good in the hood.
I didn't say it wasn't. I literally, you just literally
but I
missed
didn't
the
find any-
entire point.
Yes, but I didn't
What I
find
just
any
said.
trolls today, so you became my number one
I do.
troll.
Well, it's good though. Is you're leading into the next part? Is I love Williams.
See how I did
love
that
Williams.
there,
That was
T-shirt?
good. That was good.
You see how I did that there? I stayed on target, Nagler.
Oh.
I'm weird on YouTube, so I figured I'd just go right into that.
I just love it. I love that Williams on this throw, the throw that you are talking about, the insane touchdown. And
Wow.
I didn't pull the clip of the throw because everyone's seen it.
Everyone's
online.
seen it.
Everyone's seen it a
You know
million
what we're talking
times.
about.
It's an incredible throw. I still maintain he was tossing it up to Jimmy Graham, but last night, here nor there.
I don't care.
So I know I don't care either. It's a touchdown. But my favorite part, most underrated part of this entire play was Jamal Williams coming down with it and knowing. Sometimes it's like, okay, I got to look at the ref. Like, are they going to call it a touchdown? Like, Jamal Williams legit didn't care. He knew he was in and he was going to celebrate.
Yep.
Aubrey, roll this. It's so amazing. This is great. Like, look at this catch. Boom, down. Like, is he in? Is he out? Like, he knows.
Yeah.
He pops up and just starts walking like a pro wrestler. Like, he knows. The moment, look at that. The moment he comes down, he pops right back up. And look at Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is so excited for him. I love the chemistry.
Yeah, the
I love
chemistry.
this team. I love this club. I love these
chemistry.
guys. I love everything about it.
This chemistry
It's-
is ridiculous.
It's crazy, too.
You can't
how,
even
like,
create it.
just think.
Can't create it. You just put the people in the room.
It's
and
incredible.
yeah.
But here's what I was thinking about the other day. It's nuts to me. It is absolutely nuts how, yes, are there new pieces in the locker room? Are there new personalities? No question. But think about all the guys who were in that locker room last year and how horrible it felt around the Green Bay Packers. You remember when they were losing, couldn't win on the road, losing to the Arizona freaking Cardinals. Like, the coach is fired. It was a funeral around 1265 Lombardi. Fast forward a little bit under a year. Think of the feeling around this team now. It's absolutely a 180.
180 degrees.
It's crazy, right? Like, now all that, and that's such a credit to Coach LaFleur. And I know Mark Murphy deserves credit because he hired the man. Brian Gutekunst deserves credit because he brought in these free agents who have helped turn the tide. But LaFleur is the one who has to push the buttons.
Also,
has to set the
also
course.
to that point, right? To say, Murphy and Gutekunst were operating in a lag.
Yes,
LaFleur
very much so.
is operating with
In the moment.
There is an urgency
Yes.
to this team, and
100%.
that's where when you say it's LaFleur's doing, it's the urgency part.
Yep.
It's the compression of time. It's the push, right? Of like, no,
It's
this
the-
is our time.
this is it.
Why are
This
we
is now.
waiting? What are we waiting for?
And I love it's the what is it? It's the all gas, no fucking
All
break.
gas, no fucking break.
Right.
Why? My mom will be at a restaurant and it'll take forever, and then I'll like order.
Mom, all gas, no fucking break.
No, I'll just like order everything. Like we already talked about what we're gonna order, and she'll be like, "You're being pushy," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I want this time to talk to you. I don't want the time that we're spending with
Right.
this You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's like time is valuable.
Yeah.
So take it right now. This is
Is it?
Let's go back to the Goonies, right?
The Goonies.
The Goonies when they're down in the well.
Love it.
When they're down in
yeah,
the well.
Of course.
And he's like, our time. This is our time. Our time is now.
Amen. And Gutekunst supplied the guys. Murphy signed off on everything. But like you say, I mean, LaFleur's the one who's going, we're going to go 1-0 every week. Let's focus on what we're doing, but let's have some fun and like be yourself and like celebrate with each other. That was the other thing he said last week that I loved. He's like, when we were asking him about celebrations, because Za'Darius had mentioned that they were off and then they were on again. And he said, look, I don't mind. I love it when they celebrate together. And that's what you see in that clip. You see Aaron Jones getting all hyped up because Jamal Williams has an amazing catch. And they're free and they're easy. And it goes back to this training camp where I remember each and every day they played that music and guys were loose and dancing between snaps. And I remember they had a lot of pre-snap penalties and a lot of sloppiness. And I remember thinking, like, does this come back to bite them? Like, is this? And look, LaFleur, he set the course right
culture.
there. It was about the culture.
Well,
it was about what you're talking about. This is the moment. We're going to seize it. We're going to have a good time doing it. And we're going to kick ass.
And which the culture comes from the process, which he institutes, right?
Absolutely.
So
100%.
It's like that Ringer article when we were complaining about last week that talked
right.
about all the things.
Yep.
We were complaining because they just took like 4 or 5 quotes,
right?
Randomly. And also it's the thing that I said early, which is like those of you that think the Packers are good now, welcome, right? Because that's what that article felt like. It felt like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like we've seen this happening. We've seen this developing.
Been going on for a while. Going on.
Despite the national narrative, despite, now it's like the whole like dead joke of like, oh, Rodgers and Florida.
Oh my God.
That whole thing that literally one national media writer started that they all followed on.
Yep.
It's the thing that everybody knows when they say like the media's bad. It's the thing that everybody gloms onto because they know that that's a real thing. Exactly. The long tail, right? One person says, and then there's all these articles written about it.
Absolutely.
And that's mostly what people get like annoyed by.
All the time. I mean, when they're not getting annoyed by you and I.
Well,
every day.
Who do you think's more annoying? I think I'm more annoying than you are.
Well, we're annoying in different ways. It depends on, like, we annoy different types of people.
That's true.
So, which is good. That's why we compliment each other. Alan Lazard. I want to talk about Alan Lazard.
Wow.
This freaking kid. Again, talking about development, right? Talking about opportunity. Talking about coming to play each and every day. This kid didn't have a flashy game. He didn't have an insane moment like he did against Detroit. Didn't have a big-time touchdown or anything. All he did was catch everything thrown to him, often for big-time first downs. And I just wanted to point out, I wanted to show this clip of the yards after catch for this kid. He is so good with the ball in his hands, and he's a big dude. But look at this cut. When he cuts inside, everyone's expecting him to go outside, and it probably would have limited the gain here. But he cuts back in under that block. Like, this kid just has innate ability, innate vision. He's so good with the ball in his hands, and I'm very excited. Again, it's a common theme here. I'm very excited to watch Alan Lazard when Davante Adams is on.
Woo!
When Davante Adams is drawing double teams, Alan Lazard's going to have some fun. It's going to be a good time. And when they're worried about Adams and Jones, yeah. Alan Lazard's going to have a good time. That's all I'm saying.
I'm ready for those moments.
Speaking of a good time, I wanted to give a shout out to Alex Light, backup offensive lineman.
Alex Light.
Do not often get shout outs in the media. They don't get their own, feature pieces usually. They don't get talked about on the radio often. So that's what we do on internet shows. We talk about the niche things, right? So I want to talk about Alex Light coming in, stepping in, not only once, but twice on Sunday night for David Bakhtiari and then for Brian Bulaga. And the greatest compliment you could ever pay this kid is that they didn't have to change a single thing.
And no one knew you were there.
They didn't have to change.
Like if Wes Hodkiewicz, you're not following Wes Hodkiewicz on Twitter, you'd have no idea Alex Light.
If you're at the stadium and you're not following him on Twitter and you're just watching the game, you would have no idea he was in the game.
I didn't know.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know until I read the script. I mean, what were the 2 times? What was the quarters?
I'm sorry. Bakhtiari went down. No, Bakhtiari went down early and had to leave for a couple plays. I was going to
blame it on my drunkenness from the watch.
Alex Light came in for a few plays, and then Bakhtiari came back in. Then later, it was later in the game, so you were maybe a little gone. But he came in, and the greatest compliment I can pay him, think of how many times, and I don't want to throw dirt on the guy, but think of how many times the former swing tackle used to come in, and things just fell apart because McCarthy did keep trying to run the same offense, and it absolutely killed them. Well, LaFleur didn't have to change anything. He didn't have to give him help. He didn't have to, shorten anything Rodgers was doing in the pocket. They just kept running their offense. You could not pay a man a bigger compliment than to say, thank you for stepping in at tackle for both of our tackles, left and right. That's not easy.
That's crazy.
And just holding up. Was he an all-pro? No, of course not. But he was serviceable in a way that we have not had or seen in Green Bay for a number of years. It's been a big, big problem. And now it's early still, but it looks like they may have solved it. So, and in one of the toughest environments to play in the NFL as a tackle, where it's loud as hell. Those Chiefs fans are loud as hell.
Yeah.
Arrowhead Stadium, one of the loudest venues in the league. You got to be looking inside, looking at the snap. You can't hear Rodgers. You got to look at, and you're looking here, and then you got to turn over here and wait for whoever's coming at you, and then work out ever stunts, games up front from the defensive front, etc. Like that is a big moment for a young kid to come in there and hold up as well as he did. So shout out to Alex Light. You balled out on Sunday night. Well done.
You've already said more about Alex Light than anyone else has ever said about Alex
Probably. Because think of how many times we had Jason Spriggs come in and just wreck games. Just have games absolutely wrecked because they had the backup tackle in there.
Because it's a hard job.
Brian Bulaga went down a lot while Jason Spriggs was in town.
Yep.
And a lot of games got ruined because of it. Brian Bulaga went down on Sunday night and nothing got ruined. Everything kept humming along. That is huge. Now, some of that's LaFleur because of the design of the offense. McCarthy, like I said, one of the most stubborn people I've ever met. He's going to run his fucking stuff.
Yep.
He's not going to give his tackles help, etc. So there's certainly a part of that to consider. But Alex Light, balled out. Balled out.
Can we move on now?
Oh, we'll talk. I'm trying to avoid.
I feel like you said that like 3 times. I feel like that segment was like 3 times.
I'm trying to avoid talking about the defense.
Why? Why are people hating on the defense?
Look at the first bullet point in the script.
Tackling. God, the tackling. Okay, who cares? Who cares? No. Here's what I care about, Nagler.
I care.
Here's the only thing that matters on the defense.
What's that?
Turnovers.
Yeah, well, okay. They got one of those. They did get one of those. But, the tackling.
The score. Okay.
Come on.
Two most important things.
The tackling, Banky.
Most important things.
The tackling.
The score.
My God, the tackling.
And how many turnovers did we get?
My God, the tackling. I mean, it looked like preseason again. Remember preseason when they looked like garbage trying to tackle opposing ball carriers?
Yes.
It was like we were back in camp. I mean, I know you like staying in pre-camp and camp and whatever mode, preseason mode all year long.
Good times.
You know what? The Packers defense heard you. It's like, oh wait, Banky said it's still pre-camp. I can still tackle like garbage.
It snowed in Wisconsin this week. Okay.
As social media will tell you.
Pre-camp's nice time in Wisconsin.
Right? Oh my God. All right, I'll just say it. They got to improve there. I can't handle another game like that where they just throw yourself at the ball carrier's feet, put my shoulder in him while he's going 100 miles an hour, and then bounce right off of him. Okay, no more of that.
Let's assume they will, and let's move on to the next segment.
Just call him Big Play Lancaster. How about the? I mean, one of my favorite things is when big men get to do athletic stuff, and it's not even the play itself. Tyler Lancaster going and running to the end zone to lead the D-Train celebration. And I love the incredulousness of Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels. I think that's illegal. Didn't they outlaw this? I'm like, we are old and out of touch, and what is going on? This is not right. Like, dudes, shut up. Like, just let them. If a flag gets thrown, fine, a flag gets thrown. Guess what? A flag wasn't thrown. So relax.
Yeah.
Like, they went on about it. But, dude, watch. So last week against the Raiders, it was Kevin King leading the D-Train. And I thought, oh, it's Kevin King's thing. But now, clearly, it's whoever makes the play on defense is the one who leads the D-Train.
As it should be.
It should be. But let me tell you, watching Tyler Lancaster lead the dance is fucking comedy, man. That was so good.
Well, let me spin that back around.
Big play.
Old
Big play
national media
Lancaster.
thing.
I
Like,
should say.
Peter King, Chris Collinsworth, Al Michaels, throw them all in this pot, right? And if they don't deem it, it doesn't exist.
It's not so.
Fuck those guys.
Word.
Phil Simms is in there too.
He used to be. No one cares anymore.
Yeah.
He's not an A guy. He's in the studio now.
It's funny because
they hit him away in the
only
studio.
guy I actually feel that is that guy right now, right?
Keep the camera on Corey for a second.
The only guy that is the John Madden of football, where you really are that guy, right? Everybody's tried to fill that John Madden hole, is Tony Romo. And the only reason that he's done it is because he's the opposite of all those assholes.
100%.
He's done a 180 on the national media Peter King bullshit.
Because he just talks like a guy. And he just talks like he's hanging out.
He's like, hey.
Talking to his friends.
And if he's wrong, like if he was wrong about a play, he'd be like, oh, I screwed that up and I did
that's
thing.
Exactly what he does.
That's normal shit.
Exactly. He does it like he's just sitting in a living room watching the game with you. which is what none of these other guys.
No.
It's all because they've been drilled into. They've
this
had
political
they've
thing,
all-
or
well,
it's
no,
this-
but they've
this.
all had like media training and blah blah blah. And Tony Romo literally went from playing football, being in the huddle and on the sideline, to the broadcast booth. Remember? Like it was like.
But he also
it was so weird because all of a sudden he
it's
had this
interesting.
job.
I mean, I'm a little bit like a fanboy because he's from Wisconsin, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Rhinelander, shout out.
Huge Brett Favre fan.
Yep.
So I mean, like,
Love him.
let's do things I really like about the guy. So it's like, hey, I'm in.
But he's so good.
You know, but he's
so good.
and he
Because-
pushed back on that, right?
Yeah.
He had the media training.
Well, yeah,
They
no,
all
no.
do that
They
shit,
sent him to media
right?
training, but not. It's not like it was
He
like
pushed
his
back.
dream, his
He
thing,
took it, and I don't
you
know if he did this consciously, but he's like I always like with our company with LiveX. It's like, what are the streamers doing? What are the gamers doing? What are like other people doing that you wouldn't think of, that aren't television, that aren't this thing? And he brings that approach. He brings that basically like, no, this is who I am, and I'm not afraid to like push back on you trying to tell me how to do my job.
Absolutely, and
And not a lot of people have that
it
freedom.
helps he's a QB, and it helps that he's really good at communicating complex stuff that's happening very quickly in front of him. And look, there are plenty of guys in the NFL who know this stuff.
Yep.
They're not good at communicating
Nope.
stuff.
Well,
You know what I mean?
they're two completely different things. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Phil Simms is an expert on the NFL.
Yeah, of course he is.
But he comes off
knows
as
it
the
all.
biggest fucking douchebag you've ever seen in your life. He just comes off as a jackass. He doesn't listen to anybody on camera. Like, he has all these other communication issues
Yep.
that get in the way where you're like, dude, I don't want to listen to you.
At all. Well, and CBS, to their eternal credit, recognized that. And moved
I mean, he
on.
ruined Inside the NFL. The only reason people watch
man.
Inside the NFL are because of NFL Films.
Yeah.
NFL Films saved.
Shut up and let NFL Films do the work.
Like, it's,
That's
oh my God.
Couldn't agree.
All right, I haven't stayed on target.
You haven't stayed on target, but I'll get us back by saying, Corey, let me tell you something. Talking about stay on target, talking about the greatest movie franchise of all time. Mike Patton is a Jedi.
Wow.
I will only tell you this. There's a great, sometimes unchecked evil in the NFL, much like the Sith, percolating underneath, waiting to strike. It is the three-man rush. The three-man rush, waiting to be unleashed at any moment, unsuspecting from the fans, but notes to the play caller. And let me tell you, it is evil. And when it works, I always get some nonsense on Twitter. Oh, look, the three-man rush worked. It's like, yes, that's the devil tempting you. That's like Darth Maul, like just luring you in so he can ignite his double-sided lightsaber and take out your knees, all right? The three-man rush is evil, people. But Mike Patton is such a powerful Jedi that he is able to repel the evil that is the three-man rush. And I want to show you how. Via our good friend Ben Fennell. This is his video that he cut up for The Athletic, featured in his weekly film breakdown, which I love and I have to stress, you should read this every week. But now look, it looks like a whole bunch of people are coming. He offsets the Smiths to one side and then doesn't rush the Smiths, drops both of them into coverage after Za'Darius fakes the rush. The offensive line is so confused that they let Kyler Fackrell through to get a hit on the quarterback, all with a three-man rush. Now, Blake Martinez helps here, too, because he fakes a rush and then drops. And it's funny because Spagnuolo, his Mike Patton's counterpart in this game, is a guy who used to use that kind of technique all the time with the Giants. This is such a good job of utilizing a three-man rush in the red zone. So you're dropping a bunch of guys, and you make the windows a lot harder to throw into. And that's what happens here because Moore has to go high because his body's in his face. And that's what causes the incompletion. And there's a free rusher.
Okay, here's
Mike Patton is a Jedi.
Here's my question, though. Okay, so I'm gonna take the layman fan approach, right?
Word.
So how much different is that than just a fake zone blitz?
Well, zone blitz can be.
But like remember when that was like a not like zone blitz
was the thing.
Yeah. Remember when that was like the thing?
It's actually kind of.
It's like, hey, I'm looking like I'm gonna send 5 guys, and I'm sending 3, basically.
Well,
and just this.
That's not the traditional zone blitz. You're still going to be sending, hopefully, 5. Like that's the definition of a blitz.
Got it.
It's just
of course on the blitz, but like the one where it was a
where.
fake zone blitz, where like you all of a sudden would have like a guy like Gilbert Brown, who we were talking about on Twitter today.
Right, we were
the Gravedigger, one of the greatest.
Hey, Gilbert Brown followed
where
me
a
on
nose
Twitter
tackle is in pass coverage.
Oh yeah,
right.
I love it. I'm all in.
which was like, I think only two times in the Green Bay Packers, but it did happen.
They did it with Gilbert Brown, and they did it with Grady Jackson once. I remember they dropped Grady.
Oh my God, Grady Jackson!
And I just about fell off my chair.
Grady Jackson in coverage.
Love me some Grady Jackson.
Dude, Gilbert Brown in coverage. I think Gilbert Brown actually deflected a pass in coverage.
Oh, I think a couple times, but only once. Like when he dropped, like he did it a bunch, like rushing.
Yes, he did a bunch where he rushed, but I feel like he did one where he was in coverage.
Yes, I totally remember.
Man, Gilbert Brown was that guy, right? We talked about him on Twitter today.
Gravedigger, yeah.
But he was that guy early on, right? I remember, I'll never forget, like this feeling where, you know how like when you were a Packer fan, like there were players that would be really good. Well, you hoped they would be good, and the hope...
That was the thing. He was cut by the Vikings. How good could he be?
Yeah, exactly. But the hope of them being good surpassed how good they actually were. So when he first did his first tackle ever, right? I was like, oh my God, he's the greatest nose tackle ever! Oh, I love this guy! And then like you're like hoping he's gonna become the guy you've already made him out to be. Because you're just desperately like clinging to like, oh, we'll get this guy.
You know, I'm sure there are some viewers and listeners who probably would say that's kind of what you're doing with Kumaro, but I digress.
Did I mention that I don't like you?
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to the dude in the YouTube chat here.
You started with Kumaro, by the way. You started it in pre-camp.
I'm just saying he's not.
You got me riled up. You triggered me in pre-camp.
I'm just saying he's not better.
Set me up, and now you're just gonna.
I'm just saying he's not better than Devontae Adams, and he's not gonna be. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying you don't know.
I know.
No one knows until the end of the season, Nate.
Okay, I just want to give a shout out to the guy in the YouTube chat who said, "Stop with the fucking Star Wars." Thank you for inspiring my now weekly segment, Star Wars and Packers. How they meet. I'm doing a Star Wars related segment every week.
Okay,
now,
can we do
just because of that comment? Every week, Banky.
Can we do it?
Stay on target.
I had an idea for another segment. Can we do another segment? Can we do a segment about basically we just try to find the trolliest person of the week?
How have we not done that already?
No, I was thinking about that.
I'm throwing pearls out there. I love it.
I was spending like hours like trying to find like what's gonna get me triggered. Everybody had so high expectations for this show, and I just want to meet them so badly, right?
Not gonna happen, dude.
And I'm like,
you remember?
No way I'm gonna meet the expectations.
You remember when you were on stage when you had the perfect, or even in rehearsal?
Oh my God.
Rehearsal, you would have the greatest rehearsal of all time. I'll never forget when we were doing Moliere back in North Carolina. I had a rehearsal where I was like, oh my, and the whole room felt it, right? It was like, Aaron really nailed it today. And it was, oh my God.
And you're chasing
and
that.
you keep chasing that. Dude, it never happens.
St. Louis
you never
rep.
get back there.
St. Louis rep.
Right.
Okay. I'm doing Taming of the Shrew. I'm playing Biandello, who is the servant who comes in like Act 2-2. And he's like, everybody. And he like stops the whole freaking thing, right? First time I did it in the first performance of the thing, almost a standing ovation. Like it was like, stop the show, did the thing. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Incredible.
Chase that the entire
rest of the run. Rest of the run.
And so then it's never.
That's my point. So, last week was last week. It was that moment. That's not coming back.
Nope.
Something greater, lesser, whatever will happen. Don't chase it. That's all I'm saying. Don't chase it.
No, but we should have the trolliest segment.
100%. I'm all in.
Who said the trolliest thing
I can't
anywhere?
How long have we been doing this show? I cannot fucking believe it took us 12 years to come up with that segment. But that is a segment now. We got the Star Wars segment and the troll segment.
There you go.
There we go.
Stay on target.
Just making content, Banky. And then we can cut it out, make it its own video. I love it. Okay, real quick. We're going to preview the Chargers game in the quickest fashion possible. The Chargers had fired their offensive coordinator. And I'll tell you what, Ken Wisenhunt, God bless you, but you should have been fired the moment you called a pass play on first down, backed up on your own end, and Phillip Rivers gets sacked and gave the Bears new life at the end of that game last week. It was the dumbest play call I've ever seen. And this team has not been able to score points. They have not surpassed 20 points in 6 of their last 8 games. They haven't been able to run it. This is amazing. This is amazing. In the last 4 games, they have not cracked 40 yards rushing with Melvin Gordon.
What?
40 yards rushing the last 4 weeks in a row. That is the only time that has happened in the history of the NFL since the Super Bowl era.
What?
When the Super Bowl era began till right now, the Chargers...
It's got to be before the Super Bowl era, though.
Nope.
Come
Since the Super Bowl era till right now, no team has ever gone 4 straight games with only 40 rushing yards.
Wow.
The Chargers have done it. That's history. So that's speaking to...
So it's going to be an Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams type of day?
Well, we'll see. What's interesting is Anthony Lynn talked to the reporters in Green Bay today, and I know there's somebody else on staff who will be calling plays, but Anthony Lynn did say he will have input. So Anthony Lynn used to call plays back in the heyday, so I don't doubt that he will be heavily involved in the offensive game planning and calling. To this man who is right over your shoulder, Phillip Rivers. Look, you all can make your jokes about his kids. You can all make jokes about how he yells at people and whatever. Phillip Rivers is still dangerous. Phillip Rivers is a dangerous player. He could carve up the Packers. I know Keenan Allen is hurt with a hamstring injury, but he's still expected to play. Keenan Allen has had a history of carving up the Packers. I'm just saying, Phillip Rivers, a dangerous task for this defense.
Good, that means we'll get some turnovers.
And then another dangerous task on the other side of the ball, Joey Bosa. Oh, my gosh. What's amazing is that Joey Bosa was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and his little brother with the 49ers was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. That family's got some bona fides. He is legit. He absolutely took over that game on third downs on Sunday against the Bears. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the road. It will be a home game for the Packers, fortunately. So hopefully it's not too loud. If it's Bulaga, Alex Light, whoever's out there on right tackle, maybe it's not such an issue, but they are going to have their hands full because Bosa is going to bring it all day long.
All right, before we go to the next segment, I just want to let people know we're going to take your questions on YouTube, Facebook. We've got YouTube and Facebook queued up.
All of it. So
if you have questions, let us know. After Blogosphere, we'll take some questions. So we're going to get that out there.
That's we'll always at the end of the show for Transplants, we take your questions. We'll get there in a bit, but first, we got something we got to do right now. Hit it, Aubrey.
This week in the Packer blogosphere.
That's right. It's this week in the Packer blogosphere, the return of that venerable series.
I'm out of beer, Nagler.
Oh, you got a problem there, buddy.
Damn it.
You know what? I will say, wait, before we go any further, you all heard that voice just now saying the thing it says every time we go into Packer blogosphere.
And the intro.
And the
the
intro of this show saying two guys who like to think they know something about football. That is one Michael Abbott, who we went to school with. He was a classmate of mine. He is in a new movie right now called The Death of Dick Long, which is
It's amazing.
amazing.
He's hilarious.
And Mike is the star of this film.
He's
It is available on all your movie services, Amazon, iTunes, whatever. Rent it, buy it. It is hilarious. It is poignant. It is amazing. And Mike is incredible in it. So just wanted to give that plug for our good friend Mike.
Word.
But this week in the Packer blogosphere, often when the blogosphere is lacking and there's really nothing else to talk about, we circle back on ourselves.
Yeah, well, I shut down all the beat writers.
Because the beat writers,
You're welcome. You're welcome, Packers. Fans.
Whatever.
Worldwide.
We spent last week tearing apart the blogosphere. We wanted to highlight some really amazing work being done here at Live X, where we shoot and produce this show each and every week. Most weeks anyway. Next week you're going to be on the road. But each and every week...
We're doing remote, Nagler.
I know. I'm just saying. We won't both be in this space.
Remote, baby. That's a transition into this segment.
So what I wanted to do, Corey had no part in this, but I wanted, because he's too humble to say this stuff. But those of you who remember our training camp coverage, I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek behind the curtain of what went into that. Now, this is a very short video that we just put up on the LiveX website today, but it kind of tells the story of how this all went down.
Pre-camp, baby.
During training camp.
Training camp.
Roll it, Aubrey.
We're here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on Cheesehead TV. devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide, coming to you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We want to be where you are. What's up, everybody? Who has improved more since last year, the D-line or the secondary? Whew, that's a good question.
Devontae.
And Devontae wrestles it away from Kevin King on the deep post route.
I mean, that is just impressive stuff. We
It's
were
tough.
in Green Bay, you and I. Team was here in New York, cutting, doing stuff live. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
Yep.
And I don't think it's funny because I got a lot of responses about this on Twitter today. I didn't realize. I had no idea you guys. It's incredible. Like, it's so seamless, et cetera, et
good.
cetera. I thought you had a team there. Blah blah blah.
Oh, it should be.
Team was here in New York. We were in Green Bay. It's pretty cutting edge. It's pretty awesome.
We're going to do more of it.
And,
We're doing
yeah,
more of it.
more of it
We're going to have
on the
transplants
way.
next week remote with myself in Wisconsin. So basically, I'm going to be like, what did you say? And you're going to be like, shut up.
No,
And
it's
then
going
I'm
to
gonna
be
like,
seamless, Banky. Seamless.
like there's like I think we have it down to like little less than a second. So it won't be
bad.
as it won't
It's
be
not
as
bad.
tight as you and I like talking and listening right now.
So are we going to talk to these people on the chat here? Is
Yeah,
that
we got
the
we
plan?
got some super chats.
All right.
You
You guys should go to Clubhouse Live. I do when I'm in town. I always say hi to Aaron.
Yeah, we got a super chat 229. Thank you from Stefan. So thank you for the super chat.
Super
And,
chats. Super
Then
chats
we
up in
have
here.
Dustin gave us a super chat earlier, and he's got a question. Which hate is stronger? Nagler's hate of the three-man rush or Corey's hate of drafting kickers?
Woo, that's a good one.
It's close.
That's a good one. I'm going to go with my hate for the three-man rush. Because you could be swayed by a kicker being very successful or a punter, but I'll never be swayed by a three-man rush.
I like J.K. Scott. I like that we have him.
I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because we have to do something.
What?
We have to wish him happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday, J.K. Scott.
Happy birthday, JK. Happy birthday to the weapon.
Happy birthday. Okay, I'm not going to say what I was going to say then. Do you ever, Tyler, do you ever think about our backup QB spot, especially after last week playing versus Moore? I'd really like a solid vet who could run out offense, RIP Matt Flynn.
Well, how do you know Boyle can't run the offense? We haven't seen him. I mean, I understand people are like jaded by the whole experience of, Seneca Wallace into, what was that guy from Wisconsin whose name is totally escaping me, who was really hard to watch, to Brett Hundley. I mean, I get it. But this is an entirely different offense, entirely different system, entirely different coach, entirely different play caller, etc. Like, let Boyle, if God forbid something happened to Rodgers, can we let Boyle play a snap first?
I hear you, TBLS. Matt McClain on Facebook. They are saying the Chargers are going to upset the Pack. Thoughts?
Tolzien, thank you, Atheist, for the cause. They. Who's they? That's my question. Is always they say.
I don't know. Somebody.
No, yeah, you know why? Because someone needed to make a headline. The Packers should win this game easily. Packers should win this game easily. That's right. Clip it, internet. I don't care. Like, this is a game the Packers should win handily. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Dustin, thanks for the super chat again. Did Silverstein's heart grow 3 sizes a la the Grinch after hearing Bakey's rant? He was actually complimentary of the Packers on his podcast. I don't think he knows what I'm saying at all.
Oh, no, he knows something was up. I don't know if he saw the show, but he certainly knows because he responded to some kind of hate on Twitter that was with us coming off the show. So,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So he's aware of something.
Oh, cool.
But I don't think that had anything to do with him going nice on the podcast.
He's a great writer. And and his video with Leroy Butler is one of my
Must-sees.
favorite all-time must-see. Love
week.
it. I look
Absolutely.
forward to it.
Actually, they just dropped it a little bit ago, so go see it.
Antonio Rosales, can Aaron Rodgers beat Drew Brees? I think you mean for the MVP.
I mean, head-to-head, they don't play each other. But if you're talking about can Aaron Rodgers beat and the Packers beat the Drew Brees and the Saints, yeah, of course. Now, a big part of that is where are they playing? I mean, if they're in New Orleans, that's a tall task. But in Green Bay, yeah, they absolutely should win that game.
Okay, is your friend's movie, Mike Abbott Jr., his movie's Death of Dick Long, as good as Dolomite Is My Name?
That's
Different movies. I've seen
good
both of those
question.
movies.
I've
You
seen
have as
both
well.
of them too, yeah.
Dolomite Is My Name is hilarious.
Oh, hilarious.
I'm a
And
huge
so
Eddie Murphy fanboy.
So good.
I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy.
Matt LaFleur's about to talk. Should we go live? No, I'm kidding.
Sure.
Yeah, let's get taken down. Chad Bartell, thanks for the super chat. Epstein didn't kill himself, and Willie Davis is the all-time Packers sack leader.
Lord. I can't believe you read that on air. Anthony.
Hey, I'm just giving the people what they
watch
pay
party
for.
this Sunday. Yes. That's
You betcha. Watch party right here, Cheesehead
try
TV.
not to-
Hey, hit like, hit subscribe, because if you don't, we're not doing a watch
I'm
party.
going to try not to be drunk.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
I'm going to try extra hard to be more drunk.
Dante Spell on Facebook. Do we need to bring on the new tight end from IR?
Well, this is the week. This is when it supposedly has to happen. In the next, I believe, 10 days, I think. I think the window extends just beyond the game, but they got to do it soon. They have that window. They did designate him to return. You get 2 of those a year, but then you have a finite window of which you either make the designation where he gets to the 53-man roster or you shut him down for the remainder of the season. So that decision is coming, and I suspect I don't think they'd make it before Friday. Maybe they do. I don't know. Under Ted, that's what they always did. They always waited till Saturday.
Yep.
Brian, I don't know exactly how he'll go about it, but my hunch is he'll wait till Saturday, and we'll get some kind of press release Saturday afternoon.
Bach Ronfield, if the defense struggles against the Chargers, do you think it's time to be very concerned?
No, because Phillip Rivers is amazing, and he can get hot at any time, and Keenan Allen is a god at wide receiver. So, yeah, no. And Melvin Gordon's really talented, too, even though they haven't run the ball very well. I mean, no, especially with a new play caller. That's the other thing. Mike Pettin has had, kind of like a gauntlet of going against offensive coordinators who've had extra time to prepare, and now he's got an offensive coordinator who he has no history with, has no tape to watch, no tendencies to go off of. So, no, absolutely not.
Do you think they'll address ILB through draft or free agency?
Draft,
for
100%. I get watching this past offseason and thinking, okay, they fixed outside linebacker with free agency, so let's do that again. But I tend to think because they have devalued inside linebacker just overall as an organization in the last 10 years or so, I think they'll want to find another core piece rather than go get an ascending player and pay. Plus, they got a lot of extensions they got to deal with, both this summer and the next couple of years. I would be very surprised if they went the free agency route. I think they'll draft somebody.
All right, we talked about Chad Bartell. Thank you for the super chat. And then what are the Bears saying about Clinton Dix versus Amos now?
That's a great question.
Into Uncultured Barbarian. Thank you for the super chat. Are the Bears who we thought they were?
Absolutely. You mean, do they still suck?
Yes.
That is the correct answer. The Amos Clinton Dix thing will never not be funny to me because it was so weird. It was so weird this offseason how desperate the Bears were to make that look like an upgrade. The move they made was so smart to the point where it infected their media, who, like Brad Biggs and those guys, are usually spot on. They're really good. But they were even parroting the company line of, they clearly upgraded. They got a player who is much better, much more athletic, much more of a ball hawk, and they got him for a lot less money on a 1-year deal. Yeah, Clinton Dix is nowhere near the player Adrian Amos
Whoever
is.
thought
Not even
would be
close.
a thing. Dude, you weren't watching.
Not even close.
Adam Babel, did you guys perform Tartuffe or the Misanthrope? Tartuffe.
It's so fun. I did Tartuffe as well.
Jerry Collins, why has the Packers defense declined since the start of the year? Okay. I put this out there because I want to be like, no, that's some BS. They haven't declined.
Well, they've given up explosive plays at inopportune times, and that is not helped, obviously. Savage coming back after the ankle injury, he wasn't his normal explosive self, although you saw signs of it. I don't think they've declined. I think they've played some amazing play callers / designers in Gruden and Andy Reid, who have done a really good job of knowing how to attack them. They're not going to be the Patriots. I know everyone wants let's shut down defense. You look at the 49ers and look who the 49ers have played and shut down. It's a little different than who the Packers have played. So I understand opining for those types of teams / defenses. They're still very good. They have allowed way too many explosive plays, and LaFleur will be the first one to tell you that. But I don't think they've declined. Look, when you open up against Mitch Trubisky, you're going to look baller. That's just the state.
Here's my thing. I have always been a person since we started the website, since everything. For me, and I guess this is because I'm a Brett Favre baby, not a Brett Favre baby, but I am a Brett Favre baby.
You're kind of a Brett Favre.
I wish I was a Brett Favre baby because I had to deal with like 15 years of them sucking before I got to meet Brett Favre. But I don't know where I was going with that. I completely forgot. But the point being, offense to me is king, right? I know people want to have to me, like if the defense can be in the top 10, the offense should be able to take us the rest of the way home.
In points allowed, which is the most important, it is. Now, they give up a ton of points and are hovering around 25th. And the other thing is you look at DVOA from Football Outsiders, which is much more indicative of how they're actually playing. They're actually not terrible. They're actually pretty good. And look, I don't care.
Nagler, you're boring people with the words DVOA. Okay?
I don't care. And I also don't care. I don't care how they're playing in October. I don't.
No.
I don't care how they're playing in October. As long as they're winning, they're creating turnovers, they're making opportune stops in the red zone. That's what's important to help win football games. What I care about is how they're playing in December, heading into January and the playoffs.
You got it.
That is what I care about. Now, are they middling / finding their way right now? No question about it. A big part of what you saw on Sunday night was Mike Pettin saying, we are not going to let Tyreek Hill beat us on one big play. Everything you saw was two shell, keep everything in front of you. The problem was the idea with that kind of mentality is rally and tackle. Well, we all saw rally.
Okay, let's
we didn't see no tackle.
Okay, moving on to the next thing. Okay, look. Packerman has been safe all year. Yes, he has, Dr. Pocket Doppler.
Amazing how that happens, right?
Max Clapper, thanks for the super chat. When will Gary start to get regular snaps?
That is a great question. Been waiting for it. Here's the problem. I understand why Fackrell is playing. I understand why he's playing as much as he is. He has played well. He's not an all-star, but he's played well. So I see no need to bench the guy.
True.
Other than the fact that you took Gary at 12th overall.
Okay, so if Gary, this goes to the next super chat question. Thanks, Matub.
What's up? Matub's in a super chat?
Giving some super chat love to TV.
Matub, save your money, buddy.
Wow,
you got a baby daughter that you got to take care of. You don't even need super chatting us.
If Gary was a Star Wars movie, which one is he?
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
I mean, it gets you right into there.
I'm gonna go with Rogue One. You know, he's a little reckless. He's about the formation of the war. He's not horrible like the prequels, but he's not amazing like the original trilogy. He's got all sorts of potential to be awesome, and I sense my hunch is that at the end of this season for Gary is going to be his Darth Vader moment where he's in the hallway and you just hear the breathing, and then Gary's lightsaber comes on and he goes to fucking town on an offensive line.
There you go.
That's coming in December.
All right, and the last is not even a question. Beer money. Thank you, Brian. Super chat. Beer money. Enjoy.
Ever.
And with that, we'll take it away. We're already over time. Nagler.
That'll do it for this week's installment of Packer Transplants. We'd like to thank everyone who stopped by to chat some Packers with us. That's why Corey and I are here. We are, and will always be, devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide.
Hey, Winston, I'm sorry, where is the Winston that has given us illumination and information at past press conferences? Do we do something that you're down on us again? But this was last week, it didn't go very well, and we want to talk about your guys, and I'm not quite sure what you want from us to make that happen.
I can't help you.